Hi guys, I'm back again and I have a review of We Need New Names. Okay, I finished this book last week. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I wasn't so sure what to expect, but I finished reading it last week in a couple of days. I probably could have read it in a day because it's not very long. It's about 290 pages. And the typography is, pretty large. As you can see, I have lots of large pages because I needed those to help me with my notes for my blog post. Okay, so this book is set in Zimbabwe, and I think it starts around the time of 2000, 2001. The main character is Darling, and she is a narrator through the entire book. So it starts when Darling is very young, maybe 9, 10 years old or something like that. And we then proceed as the reader to follow Darling and her gang. I call them Bastard and God Knows and Subho and Stina, and these are all of her friends. Each child has a name like that. And the names are sort of like, I would say the names represent more different aspects of the life that the kids are living. Now, these kids spend their days looking for food and exploring their neighborhood and the neighborhoods near them. Usually they're looking for food because they're very hungry. And they are also witnessing all of the atrocities and terrible episodes of the history of Zimbabwe. The second half of the book explores Darling's life as an immigrant in the United States, living with her aunt Fostalina and her uncle Kojo, I think his name is. Now, so that is a different aspect of living. Things are a little different. But I will tell you, this book was emotional. I would say the first 100 pages left me, slightly traumatized. There was a lot going on in the first 70 pages of the book. And not a lot of it was good, if you know what I mean. The themes that are running through this book are things like historical events, immigration, family ties, separation. That is separation, physical separation from family and from homeland. There are also themes of the United States and what its role is and the reason why so many immigrants are attracted to go and live in the United States. Is the United States the so-called big savior country as it's cracked out to be? Is that really what it is? She also, the author, Noviolet Bulawayo, uses her main character as a way of critiquing American lifestyle, which is pretty much the second part of this book. Now there are quite a lot of characters in the story, but the minor characters seem to play a role that is very essential, but yet we don't sometimes see them enough, and we don't sometimes delve deep enough into who those characters are. And that's what I didn't like about the book, is that I found that the first half of the book was fantastic when they were in Zimbabwe. That I soaked it all up. I understood everything. I felt everything. But in the second half of the book, when it was in the United States, there things were a little different. It seemed as if things were rushed and skimmed over quite quickly. So I wasn't soaking up all of that atmosphere in the same way that I did in the first half. Now, we must ask, was that done on purpose or not? For a reason I don't know. I mean, it could be a technique that she was using as a way to show something. I'm not really sure. Other than that, what can I tell you? I can tell you that this book is up for the Man Booker Prize. It has been shortlisted. The Man Booker Prize winner will be announced on the 15th of October. And there are also some other books that I would like to read that are that are on that short list. So we have things like The Lowland by Jhumpa Lahiri. There's also The Luminaries. There's also Harvest. There's also A Tale of Well-Being, I think it is. So there's quite a lot of really good books in this list. I'm not so sure that this one is going to make it. If it does, I will be really surprised. I say give it a go, though. It's well worth the read. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. And yeah, it's her first book, No Violet Bulawayo. I don't know that much about her, but I find that she's an inspiring and intriguing writer, and I'm sure we're going to hear more about her in the future. And then, of course, the thing about this that's interesting is that it is a story told from someone who is from Zimbabwe, and it's about Zimbabwe, because a lot of African literature that people read, it's usually people that come from Nigeria. There's a lot of Nigerians. So it's interesting reading a story that is set in Zimbabwe. So that's all I have for you today for this review. I hope this is thorough enough, but will help you decide whether you would like to pick it up or not. So I hope you guys are having a great reading experience, and I will be back soon with something else. Bye.